Hello the internet, and welcome to another CNRL Library Innovation Studio home workshop where we show you how to build your own vegetable garden. Today we're going to show you how to make your own bird nest shop to help the birds find all the nesting materials they need this spring. Now, I found something interesting in the garden today. A very old bird's nest. It's made out of lots of different materials, it's not all just twigs. My father-in-law tells me this is a willy wagtail nest, and they are the most delicate, incredible things, made out of the most flexible of materials. There's some artificial fibres in here, there's a little bit of blue twine, all sorts of little bits and bobs to make quite a delicate nest. There's even some cobwebs in here, holding it all together. Absolutely beautiful. But we have birds of all shapes and sizes, and we'd like to help them out. We're going to build a bird nest shop. It's a bit like a bird feeder, except for there's no food in it. There's just materials that they can use to build a nest. We're going to make it a little bit easier on the birds to be able to fly up to our bird nest shop and just pull out what they want, fly away up into the trees and build their nest. Now, for the container, we're going to use fruit bags, which you might find lemons, mandarins, oranges in, this sort of thing. This way we can easily get things inside and the birds can come along and pull the material out through the little holes. The only other things you're going to need is some string and a pair of scissors. Now the first thing we need to do is explore our garden and see what we can find. Okay, so Pertwee here's got a basket for me, some of his spare hay, and a little bit of horsehair from the bottom of a chair that's falling to bits. We're looking for quite fine materials. We don't want great big sticks because the birds just won't be able to use them. That's it we've got. Okay, this is like a pretty good patch. Got some very fine twigs here. These will do nicely. Chuck those in. Now we don't want to put a big bunch in like this, the bird won't be able to pull it out. So I'll just tear that. These are now all individual pieces. Not too many branching bits like this. Not so good. That's definitely way too big a stick. That's not going to work. What else do we have? Let's see, this isn't too bad. As long as we just break it down a little bit. Don't want to give the birds too hard over time. We're trying to make their job easier for them. That's a little bit too big. Got these ones in my basket. Now, we've got some bamboo. I'm not sure how this has got here. Now, this is a bit big, but it's very easy to pull this apart with our fingers. These will make lovely flexible fibres for a bird to make its nest out of. Lovely. Gum leaves. Let's see. If we take the leaves off, these are actually quite delicate little twigs. I think these will go nicely. There we go. Again, we'll separate it out so the birds can easily pull it out of our little shop. Okay, let's see what else we can find. So I'm going to need lots more than this. Grab your bag, and it's as simple as making sure you have one opening so you can put all your stuff in. If you've got a big bag, you can make a number of these by just chopping it down to size. This one's clearly ready to use. This one, we'll show you how to tie the bag up. It's just with these ones, because there's a hole at the top and bottom, you need to tie it at the bottom before you stuff it, and then tie it at the top when you're done. So, get your bag, and just put your items in. This is a point where it's good to check that your bits aren't too big to get pulled through the holes. So make sure that's doable, and if not, shred it a little bit more and just poke it through. Give the birds a little bit of a helping hand. They're very clever with their beaks, but we need to make sure they can actually succeed in pulling it out. We don't want to be causing them more problems instead of solving their problems. Now, although natural items are best, as you notice in our willy wagtail nest, they will harvest pretty much whatever they find they think suitable. If you've got a little bit of wool that's left over, you might want to do that. So there we go. Stuff it in, nice and full. Doesn't matter if bits are poking outside, doesn't matter if things are spilling over the top too much. The birds are going to be pulling it out anyway, so that's okay. Get our little twigs, stick those out, make it look a little inviting perhaps, to grab their attention as they are hunting around, looking for suitable nesting material. The reason we're getting our veggie patch ready is because spring is almost on us. We're still going to get the occasional frost, but it is on its way. Springtime isn't just the time for new life for the plants, it's also time for new life for the animals. The birds will soon be looking to make nests so they can lay their eggs. They do this in springtime because food is soon going to be in abundance, and the plentiful food will help give the birds all the energy they need to mother their chicks, as well as feed the chicks themselves once they're hatched. And although we have Pertwee the scarecrow to keep birds away from our seedlings, that's no reason why we can't give the birds a helping hand. Birds are very useful in the garden. They eat all sorts of insects and pests, which could damage our veggie patch crop. So we don't want to scare the birds away completely. There we go. Get your string, gather up the top. The reason why we're closing this up is we don't want the birds pulling stuff out and it all falling to the ground. We want them to pull through here so there's plenty of nesting material left for all the birds. And the more the birds are off the ground, the more they're safe from predators. So there, just pull through and cross over the middle to the other side. Move around a bit, just sort of zigzagging across. And now start to pull this tight and see how it closes up. Really good. We've got a gap here that I need to close up on this side, so I'll thread it through there. Not bad. Going to need just one more, I think. There we go, not bad. Now I'm going to tie this together with a shoelace knot. So over, under and through, and over, under and through again. There we go, doesn't need to be super tight, but we do want to keep a bit more string because we're going to use this same thread to hang it from a tree. Just about there, I think. Okay. This one is ready to be hung in a tree. Find a good branch, not too close to the ground. If you have a bird feeder, I'd keep it away from there because you don't want smaller birds being put off when the larger birds are eating. And just tie it to the tree with a simple knot. You don't want it hanging particularly, you want the birds to be able to get a good firm hold on it. So tie it right up close, underside of the branch. There we go. We'll see how that goes. We hope you enjoyed this gardening workshop. Please like, share and subscribe so you and others can join us on the next CNRL Library Innovation Studio online workshop. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all the usual places at Innovation Stew or hashtag Innovation Stew. And check the Home Workshops page on innovationstew.com.au for extra resources. See you next time and happy gardening. Do you need to build a nest? I've got some things you might be interested in. They're just there on the basket. I haven't packed them in yet, but you can take some now if you like.